Kumusta aking makaibigan? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Sing Your Dad Reacts. My name is Josh, and I've been away for a while. Part of that is I am now relocated to Yellowstone, Montana, and I am actually performing with the Playmill Theater for a little stint for 26 performances as Jacob in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So you should see pictures up here of me and my son and the program and the theater and things like that. It's a great opportunity. I'm enjoying it. I've talked on my channel about my performances that I've done in the past, such as Inspector Javert and Les Mis and things like that. And this is another one of those opportunities to just really have a quality theater experience and tell a story through the music and through the character that I portray. And I'm just super grateful for it. And huge shout out to the Playmill Theater and to Roger and Heidi Merrill for giving me this opportunity. And of course, shout out to my son Joey, who is also in the cast with me as Benjamin, and also is playing LeFou in Beauty and the Beast. So if you have a chance, if you're in the area in West Yellowstone, you need to go see these shows. The Playmill puts on really good quality shows. They have this huge LED wall that they have behind the actors, and it just really adds a lot. They can drop in whatever they want and do special effects and different things. And so it's really a quality experience. But anyway, so that's part of why I've been away for so long, getting settled, having to learn the part and all these different things, and setting up my studio here and my camper and all that. Because I'm living up in Yellowstone for this period of time through September 2nd until the run is over. And so I'm working remotely basically. And so I kind of brought everything with me, and I'm trying to get it all set up so I can start doing more reactions and get back on track. So anyway, I chose Morissette. I haven't reacted to any of her stuff for a while. I know a lot of you out there are devout fans, and I wanted to do something from her. Many of you have suggested this song, Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And so I was doing a little research on this particular song and kind of where it came from and stuff like that. And it looks like it was commissioned by a Jonathan Manalo. And he worked with a Sharon Regis to kind of create the story and got a lot of her insights as well. And his initial thought was just, her story was kind of, she had this high level of anxiety and depression, and the song was about kind of a toxic relationship and trying to get past that and recover and heal. And the song was actually commissioned for the original soundtrack of The Broken Marriage Vow, which was this adaptation of the British drama series Dr. Foster. And I'll give a quote that Jonathan said about this song at the end of the lyrics, where he sums up his feelings about it and what it means to him and why he feels like it's been as successful as it has. So I'll share that in a minute. For those of you new to my channel, this is how I do things. I go through, I talk about the song, its origins, I read the lyrics, and then I do my reaction. So if you're not into that, feel free to skip ahead. For those of you that are interested, as I said, the song title is Gusto Ko Nang Bumitaw, and the translation I found for that is I want to let go. From my research, it was composed mostly by Jonathan, but I put Sharon on here because I couldn't find like a specific, where it says composed by or songwriter is XYZ. but it looks like Jonathan wrote it based on information that he gathered from Sharon, but I'm just adding her name on there because I know she did contribute to it. I'm not sure if she helped with the actual lyrics or not, so I'm just covering my basis and putting her on there. But if you guys know for sure whether or not it was just Jonathan who wrote the song and the lyrics, then let me know in the comments. I'm always interested in making sure that I know the exact details of the song and where it came from and all that. So this is a translation I found. Verse 1, crying every night, not a voice can be heard, fighting a losing war, until when, already defeated, already exhausted, I thought you were still mine, but not anymore. Is there really nothing anymore? Verse 2, pacing in the darkness, getting lost, getting confused. What am I really to you? Who am I really to you? Here in my slumber, there's like a weight in my chest. There's nothing else as sad. There's nothing else as painful. And then the chorus, I already want to let go, but my heart does not want to yet. I already want to let go. There may still be hope. Myself as enemy. Who should be the one to choose? Who is it supposed to be? Should it be myself or you? I already want to let go. Verse 3, if my sorrow is your happiness, if my shackles mean your freedom, if the wound in my heart is the cure for yours, what will happen of me? Should I give way? Am I to set you free with your heart intact? I'm already losing my hope. And then the chorus repeats. And then the bridge, weeping, but nobody's even listening. There's never a good place for a faulty love. So now I will choose myself first before I love again. Will we ever love each other? Will we ever love each other again? And then it repeats the chorus. The refrain, I already want to let go. And it repeats several times. I will now choose myself, letting go, already letting go. So this is what Jonathan had to say. This is from that article. I'll put a link in the description for this video to this article that I found where I got this quote. Jonathan says, I'm so happy that the song has exploded into the phenomenon that it has become on social media, because I'd like for the message of the song to really come across, that choosing to ultimately take care of yourself and letting go of anyone or anything that's causing your anxiety and stress is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a road to recovery and strength. So I think to kind of tie in with that from what I see as well from the lyrics, this last part is kind of talking about what Jonathan is mentioning, right? It says, I want to let go. I will now choose myself. Letting go, already letting go, right? So those final words of the song is kind of that moment of clarity of thought and sense of purpose and the hope that comes through in the arc of this song, right? So yeah, I already want to let go. There may still be hope. So you can hear it in the chorus. The stirrings of the heart, where the person singing the song is, wanting to let go and move on and relieve themselves from this stressful burden, or this individual that's causing that stress in their lives. So those are my thoughts about the lyrics. And with that, I'm going to move to the reaction. For those of you that are new to my channel, or if you haven't already, if you could please click on the subscribe button there, and also click on the little notifications bell so that you're notified of any of my new reactions coming. I'm going to be doing a lot more here now that I've got my setup. Just have to choose my time, obviously, when I'm not performing or working and things like that. So let me know what you're just really hoping for me to react to from your favorite artist, and that will help me to kind of make sure I'm devoting my time to what it is that you want to see me react to. So thanks again for your support, and let's go. So I checked the subtitles, and it doesn't look like they have the English translation subtitles for this particular video. So that's part of why I go through the lyrics at the beginning. So yeah, let's move forward here.
Wish 1075.
Umiiyak gabi-gabi, walang tinig na naririnig, nakikipaglaban sa digmaan, natalunan hanggang kailan, talo na, pagod na. Akala ko'y kaysa akin pa pero hindi na pala.
I've said this before with other singers, but one of the harder vowel sounds to really get good resonance and quality pitch and tone is the E. Because when the natural tendency when you're forming the E is to kind of push it back, and it can tend to drive it flat. And so you have to really brighten up the sound and lift and think. As a vocalist, you're told sometimes to think high, right? You think, you don't think above the pitch, but you think on the high end of the pitch you're singing. It's something where you really have to like focus with certain vowel sounds and mouth shapes and different things you're doing. You have to really focus on doing it properly and make sure there's enough air and all of that. And her vocal habits and the placement of the vowel sounds that she is singing, it's always spot on. It's always amazing. So it does not surprise me that everything she's sung so far is just sounds awesome. I'm going to go back a little bit to make sure I don't miss anything. You can see her cheeks are lifted a little too there to kind of get the soft palate up.
Akala ko'y kaysa akin pa pero hindi na pala. Wala na nga ba talaga? Nilalagalag sa kadiliman, naliligaw, nalilito. Ano nga ba ako sa'yo? Sino nga ba ako sa'yo? Dito sa aking pagkakahimlay, sa dibdib ko ay parang may nakadagan. Walang kasing lungkot, walang kasing sakit.
You hear that? The resonance on the E? E. This is, I've talked about my classical training and the fact that I've sung multiple languages, but this is one language that I've never sung before, actually, is Filipino. But it just sounds like from all of the different words that she's creating that are part of that language, that there's a lot of mouth movement and a lot of like stuff going on inside to kind of cover all of the different words involved with the phrases. And anytime you've got that, it makes it that much harder as a vocalist to make sure that the sound is not disrupted and you have good quality resonance and sound and pitch and all of that coming through. And so languages like this actually are harder to sing, in my opinion, than some other languages, because there's a lot of that movement inside and a lot of words involved. Italian, on the other hand, which is one of my favorite languages to sing, it's more open and there's a lot of open vowels, and you know, it's conducive to kind of, you know, the classical philosophy of singing and those types of things. So props to her for the amazing vocalist that she is and her ability to give it good, you know, resonance and tone with all of the words that she has to cover with the scope of the language in this song. Let's see, watch this. That's a lot.
Gusto ko nang bumitaw.
beautiful.
Ayaw pa puso. Gusto ko nang bumitaw. May pag-asa
That's a
pa
beautiful melody.
siguro. Kalaban ang sarili. Sino bang dapat pumili? Sino nga ba? Ako ba o ikaw? Gusto ko nang bumitaw.
There's that little squeal that she does. It's a stylistic thing that she does. It's just all her own. Yeah, she makes it look easy. I've said that before about her, but this is not hard for her. What she's doing here, and that's really good because then she can just put her whole heart into what she's singing and bring the emotion through in the words, which I am feeling when she's singing the chorus here. But yeah, the melody for this is beautiful. I love this, the melody they've created for this song. In fact, I'm gonna go back.
May pag-asa pa siguro. Kalaban ang sarili. Sino bang dapat pumili? Sino nga ba? Ako ba o ikaw? Gusto ko nang bumitaw. Kung kalungkutan kong kaligayahan mo. Kung
So precise.
paglaya mo. Kung ang sugat sa puso kung siyang lunas dyan sa puso mo. Paano na ako magpaparaya ka? Papakawalan na lamang bakit ang buo sa loob? Pinanghihinaan na ng loob. Gusto ko nang bumitaw. Ngunit ayaw pa ng puso. Gusto ko nang bumitaw. May pag-asa ba siguro? Kalaban ang sarili. Sino pang dapat pumili? Sino nga ba? Ako ba o ikaw? Gusto ko nang bumitaw. Gusto ko nang bumitaw.
Her resonance and her tone. I've said this before about Morissette. She has some of the best tone. Her tone is just like, it's hard to explain. When someone has just amazing tone, and Sohyang is another one that has really amazing pitch and tone, it almost sounds like it's synthetically generated. You know what I mean? But it's so on. It's so resonant and full and right on the pitch that it sounds like it's almost like synthetically generated. You know, that's the only way I know to explain it. Obviously it's not. This is her voice. It's just amazing. But that's the only kind of comparison I can think of to describe what I hear with her voice. It's just, and you can see like mechanically she's doing a lot of really good stuff here. As far as you see her, as I mentioned before, she'll do lifts like this, and then she'll do this. So a lot of times when you, like in classical training, they talk a lot about you should feel the sound kind of come through here. You're kind of pushing the sound up through here, and that's the lifting part of the sound. That's how the soft palate and the mask and all the different aspects of the mechanics involved with singing get involved, you know, because you're lifting the sound up, and you can kind of see her doing that with some of the notes and at different points while she's singing, where she's lifting her soft palate and, you know, raising up here and trying to, you know, get the sound to come in on top of the pitch and have that resonance and everything. So those are really good habits that she has, and she's learned. And I don't know if she's, you know, started to do more classical training. She's had someone kind of talk to her about that, or if she just has really worked hard on her voice and tried different things, and she's figured out that that's what gives her all that resonance. If you have any comments about that, or knowledge as to what training she's had and all of that, I'd be very curious, because a lot of the habits that she has and the mechanisms she's engaging and things like that, it's definitely something where it looks like she's had some training on that front. So let me know whether that's the case or not, please. I'm going to go back real quick. I can kind of point out what I'm talking about. See her cheeks are her mouth is open. She's opening really well. She's dropping the jaw really nicely. Key change, wow.
On Wish.
Wow. Sorry, I was looking for a good place to pause. There really wasn't one there through all of that. She sings with such feeling and in energy and passion, and she adds that little growl in there occasionally, which gives it like that power and that feeling behind it with the message of this song. So she's really got good instincts about how to sing and tell the story of a song. Because I've talked about this before on my channel, but it's like, you can't just go up there and just sing a bunch of notes when you're singing a song. You can't do that. You have to go through and change the inflections in your tone and change the phrasing and change the texture of the sound and the emotion that is sitting behind what you're saying to tell the story and to bring the power of the message through that's meant to come through as part of that song. So, and that's not an easy thing to do as an artist. And so for her, and I know she's not that old, so for her to be at this stage in her development, able to just really bring this kind of feeling and also add the riffs and the impressive stuff that she's doing vocally, she's amazing. Just awesome. Okay, let me go back a little bit. This part right here is crazy. The good thing about, sorry, I paused in a weird spot. I wanted to point something out here that I saw. So whenever someone's singing kind of with that power and passion, and I don't think it's necessarily in the higher part of her voice, but it is kind of like, you know, probably in that top 25% of her chest voice. It's probably in that range. Part of what I look at when I'm watching somebody sing is, do they have tightness in their neck? You know, do you see the veins in their neck? Do you see, you know, the muscles constricting in their neck? Do you see the larynx raising up super high, which is sometimes indicative of closing off the sound or straining for the notes? I don't see any of that with her when she's singing these phrases. If you watch what I'm talking about in her neck looks relaxed. So she's singing with passion with her face, and so there's a lot of emotion in her face and all of that, but I don't see that she's actually straining with their vocal mechanism. So that's a good sign. You can see what I'm talking about here, right? So watch. Right here. See her neck? I don't really see tightness though. She had good resonance on that final note there.
107.5.
You can tell that it's not a tough song for her range wise, but I think breathing wise and all of what has to happen with all the words and all that she has to say in there. Because what that does when you have a lot of those that you have to, a lot of words that you have to say and pronounce and speak or sing clearly, what that does is that taxes you a bit on the breathing side. And so it does get a little bit tiring when you have a song like that. And so that's kind of what you sense, I think, there. If you look at her right here, right after she finishes up there, just kind of takes a deep breath right there. So I think that's what that is from, is what I just described, right? It's not so much the range and the highness of what she had to sing, but it's more just the energy she put into it, number one, which she put a lot in, and also just all the different words that she had to sing clearly and on pitch and all that. Yeah, so that was amazing. That was a really awesome song. It's not my favorite of hers that I've reacted to, but it does have a pretty melody to it, and she sang it really well with a lot of passion, and it's got a great message to it, obviously. I always love that when a song has a great message, and this one is telling you to just move forward in life and leave behind all of the toxic relationships and stress and depression, and the things that could be causing that in your life. So props to Morissette. She's awesome. I love her voice. She's really has an amazing instrument and a lot of charisma, and the more I've learned about her as a person, she just seems like an awesome person and has all the right intentions in mind, just like some of the other artists that I react to on my channel, right? She wants to really inspire and tell a wonderful story through the song and through her performances, and I think that's super admirable. So I'm going to not spend a lot of time talking here at the end of the reaction. Please put in the comments any of Morissette's songs that you really are just dying to have me react to, and I'll definitely queue those up for those that I react to. And I'm going to try, like I said at the beginning, to do more reactions, and at least 2 or 3 more during the time that I'm here in Yellowstone before I go back to Utah the beginning of September. So look for those to come, and be sure to check out my channel. I do have the artists where I have multiple reactions. I have playlists of my reactions. So if you're like, I want to see the rest of Josh's reactions to Morissette, you can go and look at my playlist, and I have a Morissette playlist, and all of my reactions to her songs will be on that playlist. So it makes it easy for you to go and just watch those instead of, trying to just go out and find them on my channel. So hopefully that's helpful. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm going to end my reaction the way I do with all of my reactions, and that is to reach out to you across the world, wherever you are, to let you know that you need to know that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And I hope that you have supportive, non-stressful, non-toxic people in your lives, and people that are happy and uplifting and encouraging to you, and support you in what you do, and stick with you during the hard times and when you make mistakes or whatever, because we all need those people that will be with us through all of that. Again, thank you for your patience and for your support, and take care.